And for those of you, this is going to be Kespa's Neo Planet, and if you guys are not too familiar with it, you're going to be seeing it quite a bit in this tournament. And that poor Stalker there getting taken out by a Widow Mine. But what's interesting is that middle expansion, it almost looks unsecurable. It's a high yield right there, but Flash definitely known for being able to secure unsecurable expansions.
Yep. Challenge accepted.
But Total Biscuit, please introduce our players.
I would absolutely love to do just that. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the final match of Friday's festivities, we have this fellow right here, playing on what is essentially his home ground turf, a Kespa map to kick him off. Could it be any better? Hailing from Korea in the red trunks are playing Terran. KT Rollsters, Flash!
And up in the top right side, Flash loves destroying Zerg, but Zerg has a lot of new tricks under its sleeve. Please give it up for Acer's Bly.
I think it's fairly clear who the favorite is. But
that is true. That is true. You know, when you do something for like a decade, you tend to get a few followers.
Every now and again, yeah.
Yeah, and I will say, TVZ, what an awesome matchup to kind of end the night on between these two players. Always one of the most classic matchups in all of StarCraft. StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 as well. And we even have this nice little snowy effect to kind of set the mood of destruction that is about to take place here. And again, this map, as far as Kespa maps are concerned, is actually on the smaller side. We've seen many maps that are just absolutely huge. And we know that Flash loves macro. How is Flash going to try, or how's Bly, excuse me, going to try and punish that?
All right, so there's already a little bit of shenanigans going on here because Flash actually went 11-11 on his barracks and his refinery, which indicates to me one thing, and that begins with an R and ends in an R. Can you guess what it is?
I'm guessing the Reaper.
You might be right.
Which is actually completely different. If you haven't watched any new games on Heart of the Swarm, I know there's one of you out there, and basically the Reaper is a completely different unit now. It doesn't do bonus damage versus light. It doesn't do bonus damage versus buildings, but they're faster. You can get them earlier. You don't need a tech lab, and they have started to be used a lot in the early game, much more than we're used to seeing in the past. Now, we don't normally see mass Reaper like we saw for a little while there in Wings of Liberty, but starting it early with a Reaper is, you know, a great way to do it. Reaper Expand is phenomenal. This drone over here is up to no good, actually delaying the gas there a little bit for Flash. Of course, Flash not going to be losing a unit, doesn't let the drone escape right here, and Flash, again, just known for his mechanics, so slowing down the steamroller any way you can is, I think, the best start.
I certainly think so. Bly's going to steal that extractor, which, that's the best thing he could possibly do in that situation. Here comes the bunker, and it is going to be early Reaper pressure. Second one, it's on its way as well. Bly has got to already know that this is coming.
Right.
This is extremely common opening on pretty much any of the HOTS ladders. This has been going on for a while, and there's been a lot of discussion amongst pros as to how effective this is. The funny thing about this is this bunker almost went down here. If he could stop it, it would be pretty incredible. We'd have to see some great micro. So far, it's been pretty good, but with only 3 drones against a Reaper and that SCV, not going to happen. One drone goes down, and well, let's just be honest here. Flash's control has always been amazing, and that means this Reaper might as well have an invincibility shield.
Oh, seriously. They also regenerate HP much more quickly, and actually Flash manages to get that bunker up here and saves the SCV. I will hand it to Bly, though. His control was pretty good, but Flash able to chase down 2 of those drones and take them out. There's also the extractor taken in Flash's base, by the way. That's going to be delaying the gas, but Flash, he's going against the grain here. He's making a lot of Reapers. He's going to force a lot of Lings, and even though Reapers do not do bonus damage versus Lings, look at this map. There's lots of areas to jump inside the main base with those Reapers. That SCV is still alive. I think the Queen can kill that SCV. Yep, right there. Takes it down. Flash not able to react in time. It does look at the 2 Reapers right here, though. Since they don't do bonus damage versus anything, they are good at trying to engage these Queens directly. Might actually kill the Queen here if he's not careful. Needs to keep that Queen alive at all costs. He's going to back it way into the corner. But at this point, with no Spine Caller, with no range units other than the Queen, these Reapers are going to start being really frustrating.
Yeah, until speed comes out, there's really not a lot you can do here. There's been comments made by pro players that really the only thing Zerg can do in this situation is try, and he looks for the surround, doesn't get it. It's just to try and minimize the amount of damage that this does. And we're seeing why, because if you've got the control that Flash has got, what on earth can you do to 3 Reapers with slow Lings?
Oh, it's tough, man. The expansion behind it, Flash not missing a beat here, and also he's swapping out his factory now onto the reactor. We'll see if he decides to go for Hellions. Yes, he does. Remember, Flash with Hellbats could be terrifying, but Flash with just regular Hellions is equally as terrifying. It does look like he does get the salvage there. So really, I mean, that ends up working out quite nicely for Flash. He secured his expansion. He killed a couple drones. He's about 300 resources ahead in that unit's loss. He may end up losing a Reaper here. It's so hard to get the surround around. He's going to chase them down, and can he get it? He does manage to get one right there. You know, the Reaper made it to the high ground, but he is dead now, so that's not going to be any good for him. The Reapers, though, not enough to defend this expansion, so it looks like, you know, if nothing else, this is what I've been saying since the beginning, is Bly needs to slow Flash down as much as he possibly can, and he's doing that a little bit here by delaying the timing of this expansion.
To some degree, yeah. I think the problem is that if you saw Flash's build and the way that he timed it out, he knew there was going to be a link counterattack, which is why he built the Hellions to actually deal with it. He knew speed was going to come out, and then the counterattack was going to come in. That was going to delay his expansion. So he gets the Hellions out to make sure it didn't last for too long. Admittedly, I got to say, Bly actually did delay it more than I would have expected, simply because there was a few more links, and Flash actually supply blocked for a few seconds there. Pretty surprising. Obviously having to deal with a large number of links bearing down on his natural expansion there. But as you said before, this is a good start for Flash. I think he achieved what he wanted. Maybe he could have done more. He has only killed 2 drones. He killed the Queen, though, so with that amount of delay, it seems like it was totally worthwhile. Bly is setting up a large amount of links here. He's got 20 in total. I have to wonder what his plan is. He surely can't be thinking about running in there.
Yeah, I think he was hoping that he could set some sort of trap. These Zerglings do have an escape path out the back side of this expansion. And look at this, Flash already preemptively splitting his Hellions. He knows exactly where those Lings are going to pop out. Does he have time? No, it looks like the Lings got to swing back around to try and get the Hellions here, but Flash's control is too good. He may kill off all these Lings without losing a single unit. No, one Hellion does fall, but that was definitely going to be favoring Flash here. This is what he's known for, his impeccable unit control, just furthering his lead now. He is about 600 resources ahead as far as units lost are concerned, plus he has that expansion now done. And I would be terrified of Flash doing drops, and that is exactly what he's going to do, as he has 2 medevacs on the way.
Yeah, I mean, we're really hyping Flash a lot here, but so far he's played a fairly impeccable game, I would say. Everything seems to have gone exactly the way that he planned it to. And as a direct result, it puts Bly in an awkward spot.
Oh, gets the Hellion block there
there
at the last second. And the Roach there is going to be the new gatekeeper. And that's, again, I got to hand it to Bly, because I've seen many players fall to Flash's openers where Flash is attacking you at 4 different times in the game, which is basically what we've seen so far as the medevacs move out. But Bly, I wouldn't say necessarily has gone blow for blow, but has managed to lessen the damage as compared to a lot of other players. So I got to hand to him. He's got good defense. He's got the Roaches on the way now. And you have to remember that these drops are purely Marine. So Roaches are actually going to be quite effective here if they're in the correct position. Both these players playing pretty well. I would say Flash definitely playing a little bit ahead, as unfortunately Bly supply block for just a second. But if he can deal with this drop, might be able to expand, might be able to go toe-to-toe with Flash in the late game.
Yeah, as you said, he's got a lot of Roaches. The trade is pretty good. The main problem is that the actual Roach damage is so slow that there's a lot of healing that can be done in between it, which is why Baitlin's really good here. But the amount of damage that's being done already, he should be able to get out of here without taking much damage at all. He has killed he killed 9 drones in that attack and lost 4 Marines for it. That's a good trade as far as I'm concerned.
Especially with the drop over here in the top center, going to be able to force the cancel right now. This is where, as a Zerg player, you start to feel like I don't have options. This is the kind of play we've seen a lot of Terran players use versus Protoss. The early mid-game drops. I mean, the Roaches are never going to get over that time. He does get the cancel, but loses the drone, so really you're not coming out that far ahead here, as the medevac going to be going into the main base, swinging back over there. This is so frustrating for Zerg players to deal with at this stage of the game, especially since he was relying on so many Roaches, and Flash says, you know what? I don't even need to drop there because I've already dealt the damage I need. And Bly, I mean, if you're stuck on 2 bases versus Flash, you are not in a good spot at all. And actually, the drop is going to continue.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see a reason for him not to right now, because he is ahead in every possible aspect of this game. I don't see a way for Bly to attack at this stage. He needs to be able to shut these drops down somehow, and how is he doing it? There's nothing mining in the main base right now. It's getting that rough. These Roaches can stop the drops when they get there, but the damage has already been done by that point. Another drop does yet more damage there as well. 13 workers now killed, the 3rd base cancelled, and continual army production here from Flash. And nothing but Roaches coming out here from Bly. And that makes me think, honestly, the only thing he's going to do is just try and go for a big base trade and just throw himself at the enemy. Because obviously Roach is not going to be shutting these medevacs down all that quickly.
Non-stop drops here, back and forth, natural main, and now right now doing both of them. The drop of the natural does get cleaned up, but that just gives him more time in the main base to go ahead and clean that out. Flash, known for his mechanics, known for his multitasking. He was known for drops in Brood War, and now that medevacs move so much more quickly with the added ability of the Ignite Afterburners, you have got to watch yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you're not connecting your bases with creep, if you don't have fast units, those drops are just going to destroy you. And Flash is also known for being able to get maxed out extremely quickly in the midst of everything that's happened. He's already at 141 supply. We're not even at the 14-minute mark. Even going to be saving these 2 Widow Mines up here. Flash is currently playing in tip-top shape, and Bly, he's got to try and make something happen, but I don't think roaches are the answer here.
Not in those numbers. There's too many medivacs, and the trade is going to be way too efficient, I feel, for Flash. Even if Flash would lose this army, there wouldn't be enough roaches left to actually assault the natural, and he's not even going to lose that army because he's had such an economic advantage up to this point in the game. He just has a larger force, and now he's smashing Bly's defensive like it was nothing, and it's going to force him all the way back to his natural.
Yeah, he's going to be retreating all the way back home. There are a couple roaches down at the south. Might be able to delay that expansion. You can see he did burrow there. That's going to force a scan, but that's really just not going to slow down the engine that is Flash. He's just going to go straight for the kill. Even boosting his medevacs just to get the slight heal off quicker. He has such good unit retention. That's exactly what he's going to be doing here. He's going to be taking down all these roaches. They just do not stand a chance versus the Marauders, as Bly never was able to get his plan underway. The roach right there does get cleaned up, and he does actually manage to force the retreat right now, but you got to remember Bly's third base. No drones right there. 15 minutes into a game, he's only got 43 workers. Overall workers killed 22-1. That is a pretty good ratio for Flash.
That base is about to go down as well. Looks like his medevac's going in that direction. The units lost, the units lost tab is what I'm interested in seeing. The difference is massive. The efficiency is just absolutely huge, and probably the first mistake I've ever seen Flash make in this game, just misrallying those slightly and losing 2 Widow Mines in the process. But the resources lost between the two it's almost double here, and that's going to be pretty ugly. Now let's see what Tunneling Floors can bring to this. An interesting choice of an upgrade here for these roaches. Will he be able to make it work? He shuts down that missile turret, but he hasn't been able to do anything decisive with it yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Total Biscuit, this is just so tough. I mean, that third base is still not mining for Bly. Yes, his supply looks okay. Oh, there's a nice burrow there. We'll see if he can manage to make anything of it. And we'll actually force a retreat here, I believe. Nah, the roaches are going to have to get on out of there.
That was okay, though, for Bly. Like, he did a lot of damage there, and the medevacs were out of position. Unfortunately, Flash was dropping at the same time, so he doesn't really care because he's cleaned that base out as well now. The drone count's at 50, considering it's 16 minutes into the game. There's 56 SCVs. That's... it's dicey, certainly, for Bly. He's not out of it yet, but he is way behind.
Yeah, I mean, there's just no other way to put it unless Bly can find a time to drone, can find a time to get back into this economically. I mean, Flash is going to pull further and further ahead. He's about 60 supply ahead right now, and these roaches just not able to do enough damage. Yeah, maybe he can do a counterattack, but I mean, honestly, Flash isn't even needing to do anything that you couldn't have done in Wings of Liberty anyways. Yes, he's got a couple of Widow Mines here and there, but just relying on Marine and Marauder and plus the medevacs, he can just, I think, attack into victory here because this third base is completely undefended. A couple roaches going to be counterattacking down here. That's going to be held up relatively easy. Even with Burrow Micro, you're not going to be able to buy yourself enough time to save this third base. And I got to say, you know, Bly has been stuck on this roach tech since almost the beginning of the game. Yes, he can unburrow right here, but Flash already realizes it, gets a nice concave there to clean those up. Every step of the way, Flash gives him no breathing room. Going to go in for the kill right now. No amount of roaches is going to save him here. Look at that medevac cloud. Flash absolutely loves going for mass medevac. He's cleaning up the attack there we go, at his third base. There's the GG from Bly. Flash